Hey guys, it's Ted. If you watch our Pokemon streams every Friday, then you'll probably already know this, but last time we got our asses beaten by Chuck. I went into that battle woefully underleveled, and all of my Pokemon fainted. They're gone. Now, earlier in the playthrough, I had established that losing all your Pokemon was considered a game over, and we actually did have that happen to us once. When we faced off against the rival's second fight back in session 2. I did restart the playthrough then, like it was a game over, but at that point we had only gotten kinda far, not that far. So I didn't mind restarting because we were only like 3 hours into the game. But now we're about like 15 hours into the game and we lost to Chuck. We had gotten some pretty decent progress. We had gotten the Lapras. We were doing pretty good up until I made a stupid mistake. So I personally am not too keen on the idea of having to start over from the beginning again. Not just because, it would be tedious for me, which it is, but also I can't imagine that it would be too terribly interesting to have a good 5 or 6 sessions just watching stuff that we had already done once before. The tension's a little bit lost then the second time. But, I did set up that rule, so there are a couple of options available to me. The first option is to, just restart the run, like I originally said I would, follow the rules that I had set. Another option that I have is to go into my PC and use Pokemon that hadn't fainted and continue on the game Nuzlocke style from there. I have like a good 10 plus Pokemon in my box ready to go. And I mean, I would have to grind them to get them up to snuff, obviously, but it's still an option that I have. I could continue the game Nuzlocke style from this point on. So that's also an option. Another option that I have, which had actually been mentioned a couple of times in the chat and in the comments, is to continue the game but dropping the Nuzlocke rules. So essentially, I wouldn't have to worry about my Pokemon fainting anymore because, I would just go back to the Pokemon Center and heal them. And that's something that I saw mentioned a couple of times. Another thing that I personally thought that I might want to do is drop Heart Gold and Nuzlocke a different Pokemon game. Most likely Black or White 1 or X or Y would probably be the games that I would feel like Nuzlocking because those are a little bit easier. And particularly X and Y have the experience all, which would mitigate the time spent grinding, which is good. And my last option is to just drop Pokemon for a little while and play something completely different. I have a handful of ideas of other games I could play. So, in the description for this video, there's going to be a straw poll where you guys can vote on what you think the best course of action is. Now, I should mention right now that you guys are not voting for the fate of the Nuzlocke right now. This is still my project and I hold complete control over it. But I do think that your guys' input is important, and I do want to kind of judge what the general idea of what people want me to do. So obviously, if something is overwhelmingly supported, like everybody thinks, yeah, Nuzlocke a different game, that's going to weigh heavily in my decision. But if one thing only kind of beats out by just a tiny margin and I don't really agree with it, I might go against it anyway. So yeah, you're not necessarily voting, but please go to the description and vote in that straw poll just so that I know where you guys all stand on this. And of course, feel free to leave a comment explaining why you think that too. I'm going to go over those pretty thoroughly and try to figure out what the best option is. Hopefully by this Friday, in time for the stream, I will have an idea of what I want to do. And yeah, so anyway, thanks for sticking with this, guys. And hopefully we'll have a solution soon. So I hope you enjoy the other videos we've got going up at the moment, and I'll see you guys all later.